right, well, here's a question for you. Are the days of truly clocking in and out of your job over? Technology advancements like email and Teams messages, yes, we all have that. Have they made the modern workers, I should say, more accessible than ever before? And now many are finding it harder to step away outside of their normal working hours.
Our Queen City News Chief Business Correspondent Taylor Young joins us, and for many, Taylor, it seems that the work days just keep getting longer and longer.
Yeah, so it's a phenomenon being dubbed the infinite workday, and it is as horrible as it sounds. So what we are seeing is kind of the blurring of the lines between work and personal life that's led to this continuous cycle of reading emails and attending meetings really outside of your normal work days, and it's really getting out of hand. So just this week, Microsoft published an eye-opening report after analyzing users across its platforms. That includes email and scheduling app Outlook, one of the most popular platforms used by companies in the U.S. today. It found the average worker receives 117 emails daily. If you want to triple that, just become a journalist, most of which are skimmed in under 60 seconds. Upwards of 40% of users are up and scrolling their inbox by 6 a.m. in order to get a head start on their day. And it found the number of meetings booked between 8 p.m. and just before midnight has increased by 16% compared to just last year. So do the math. If you're up reading emails by 6 a.m., logging on to attend a meeting at 8, I mean, you're putting in a lot more than 8 hours of work in one day.
Right, and then depending on what industry you're in, my husband's Teams was pinging all weekend. That's another story. So on top of that technology that allows us to be pretty much reachable no matter where we're at, what else is contributing to this infinite workday?
Yeah, well, I mean, I do think technology is a really big part of this, right? Because our cell phones, they kind of allow us to be accessible and reachable at any place, any time, and workers are kind of giving into it, right? If we get an email, we want to keep up on it. But outside of technology, and I hate to bring up remote work because we know U.S. workers love remote work, but this is absolutely contributing to that. Because think about it, some of the biggest companies in the U.S., even right here in Charlotte, I mean, they have workers working in other cities, maybe other time zones, other parts of the world. So if you're in Charlotte and it's, 2 p.m. on a Thursday, it's 5 p.m. in California. So when is the right time to kind of schedule a meeting for that, right? So those different time zones are really contributing just to the lengthening of the workday. And then also, lastly, I think it's just this work culture shift. And if we're going to stick with the remote work, I mean, let's just bring them into this, because if you're a remote worker, you love remote work, you don't want to go back into the office, you might not speak up if you are somewhere else in the country and you have to get on a Zoom meeting at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're just going to extend your workday. So there's a cultural shift here happening as well.
And let's face it, everyone's tank, at some point it's going to run out, right?
Yeah.
So is that affecting the productivity during that work window?
So even when you're in your normal work hours, this is absolutely impacting productivity. So while some might see this accessibility and this being able to be reached everywhere might actually increase productivity, this is just becoming a massive distraction. So it is, in that study, it found that workers are interrupted every 2 minutes of their workday from a message or a meeting or a Teams message, right? And then also add on top of that how many times you go and talk to your coworker. So how much work can actually be done? But I think another point that this survey found is kind of this meeting crisis that we're having in America right now. The amount of meetings that are taking place throughout the day, whether they're planned or not planned, and this survey found when those meetings are taking place is also having an impact on productivity. We, as human beings, have these peak performance times. It's a little bit after you come in around 9 o'clock up until noon. Then you kind of hit your slump a little bit, and then kind of at the end of the day, you get another performance peak, and those 2 times are when the majority of meetings are happening.
Man.
So it's kind of just a triple whammy right there.
Interesting. So what other impact besides just kind of burnout is this having on workers?
I mean, we spent, I want to think 5 minutes last week talking about worker burnout in America, and Charlotte was in the top 5 cities for the most burnout of workers who are experiencing burnout. And in this study, it found 1 in 3 employees say it's really impossible to keep up with the demand that they're experiencing today. And so a lot of workers are overwhelmed right now. They're experiencing burnout. And this, of course, does have an impact on the companies if their workers aren't being as productive. Even though they might be seeing their faces more, communicating with them, it doesn't necessarily mean that more work is getting done. I think silver lining here, AI could help alleviate this issue.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of fear about AI, but more companies are kind of looking at different ways to incorporate that into their systems, and maybe that will make the workday shorter, hopefully, fingers crossed.
For some busy work that might just be time consuming, but
Yes.
not necessarily needing a lot of brain power, that's just one option
We
there.
welcome it.
I didn't hear a word you said. I was checking emails
Yeah, right.
so that I could clock out in an hour and a half. So just trying to be, multitask
There
here.
we go.
So, all right. Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate it.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.